Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांशः हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नाम रूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। Let's start. Am I audible? Okay. So we were seeing three planes of reality, three states of reality. The plane would be the ideal world, but even the states of reality can be said. What are they? One is transactional or relative, apparent, and absolute. Why these three realities are required? Because we experience them to be, and those are there. To be precise, in a way, the apparent reality and transactional reality are not very much different. Yet, we need to differentiate in between them because the ignorance because of which those planes, those states of reality are being experienced are different. One is the ignorance of the absolute, that is Brahman. And because of the ignorance of Brahman, which is my own true nature, that which I am experiencing is this transactional reality. Why so? Because this ignorance, the ignorance of our own true self or one's true nature is common for all, same for all. Therefore, because ignorance is same for all, its effect which is being experienced is one and the same for all. And that's why we call this entire creation which is being experienced by all of us. This entire creation which is being experienced by all of us because of ignorance of our own true self, this creation is the creation of Ishvara, Ishvara Srishti, and this becomes our transactional reality. In this transactional reality, because of the ignorance of the object which is being experienced, the object which is from transactional reality or relative reality, I see something else in place of that object. And that something else which I am seeing has apparent reality. Now, why? Because the object which forms substratum for the superimposition is from transactional reality. And superimposed gets negated when I experience the object as it is. Which object? The object which is from transactional reality. So for the experience of superimposition to go away, for the experience of superimposition to go away, that Brahma to go away, I did not require Sakshatkara or Brahmadhyana. Therefore, reality of that object was apparent, pratibhasika. But when I come to transactional reality, those experiences continue to be. And when I say experience, add one point to it, the reality given to those experiences. The reality given to those experiences. Why? Why is it important to understand the reality given to those experiences? Because at certain points, for certain experiences, superimpositions or Brahma, even after knowing they are mithya, the experience continues. Like in case of mirage water. Why is it so? Because of Sopadhika Brahma, Nirupadhika Brahma, that difference is there. If the Upadhi gets negated, the Brahma also will go away. But if Upadhi continues to be there, the experience of superimposition also will continue. But the reality given to that experience and its effect on me will go away. That is mithyatva nishchaya. Mithyatva nishchaya. So, objects which get negated only by Brahmadhyana, those objects are said to be in transactional reality. And for Brahman, it is absolute reality. Why? Because it never gets negated. Abadhita. So after having explained all these three states of reality, Guru came back to Shishyas, the student's question about the thirst not being quenched by mirage water. And Guru answered that both of them have different planes of reality. Mirage water has apparent reality, pratibhasika satta, and the thirst has transactional reality, vyavaharika satta. Having differentiated in this way, Guru answered that objects having same reality alone can interact with each other and have effect on each other. How do we determine the reality and the nature of an object or the plane in which it is existing? Determine what is causing that experience or object. What type of ignorance? Is it Mula Vidya or Tula Vidya? Is it the ignorance of my own true nature, own true self, or ignorance of the object itself? If it is the ignorance of the object itself, the objects from this transactional world, it is going to be Tula Vidya. But if it is the ignorance of my own true self, it is Mula Vidya. Mula, root cause. Anyways, going further, the student raised the question, I have a doubt. What you talked about is fine, but why do you need to differentiate all these three planes of reality and talk about this? Why can you not say that everything gets negated by Brahmajnana? Because in the end, Brahmajnana alone is going to negate everything. Guru said no. Because there is difference between the nature of ignorance. And it gives rise to two different states of reality. We have to address them. Further, the topic continued, or topic is going to continue into creation. Is it sequential or is it spontaneous? Is there a sequence one after the other, or is it created simultaneously at moment's time? Everything is being created, born, or produced. How is it? Let's see. Samsara Vishayaka Vicharaha. Samsara creation. So now the topic is about this entire creation. Inquiry into the nature of this entire creation. Samsarotpatti krama prashnaha. Samsara creation utpatti, the birth creation, utkrama sequence. The question about the sequence of this creation. In which sequence, in which way this creation is being born or being produced or is coming about. ब्रह्माज्ञानादुत्पद्यमानः संसारः केन क्रमेण उत्पद्यते इति सुनिश्चितं वर्णनीयम् इति शिष्यः गुरुं पृच्छति. On account of ignorance of Brahman, the samsara which is born on account of ignorance of Brahman, in which sequence, how is it born, how is it created? Please explain to me the sequence of creation in detail explicitly. This is what student asked Guru. Now, first, Guru answers his question. He says, Purva prashnasya guroho uttaram. Earlier question is being answered by Guru. Swapnavad vinakramam jagataha pratitihi. Like dream, swapnavat, vinakramam, without krama, without any sequence, jagataha pratiti. This jagat, this entire creation is being experienced, is created. Swapna padarthaha yatha kramamantarena just as the objects in the dream world is born, is created without any sequence, spontaneously, everything just comes about. All the trees, leaves, branches, animals, people, and not just that, all palaces, etc., everything. It just spontaneously is born. There is no sequence at all. Tadvadeva, in the same way, mithya jagat pratibhasate. This apparent world, this world is experienced or is born. Mithya jagataha kramajidnyasuhu marichikodakavagahanamapi ichet. Mithya jagataha, of this mithya jagat, this entire creation which is false, the one who tries to inquire into its sequence, krama jidnyasu, marichiko dakavagahanam api ichet. Avagahanam, removing away. What will he try to do? He will try to squeeze out mirage water from his clothes. So he is just criticizing the fellow who is trying to inquire into the sequence. In short, you don't need to inquire and really try to understand the sequence of this entire creation. It's not going to yield any result. Furthermore, it is going to add to more confusions. So that's it. Mithya jagata. But Upanishatsu, in Upanishads, Jagadutpattihi anekadha varnita. This entire creation has been explained, and in detail it has been told in many different ways. The Guru knows what question is going to come next, and he is further, in the beginning itself, he is establishing the facts, the information, and then he is going to answer that question before it arises. Jagrat swapnayoho sarvatha samyameva shruyate. He declares in the beginning itself. Everywhere in Upanishads, Jagrat swapnayoho sarvatha samyameva shruyate. All Upanishads, in one way or the other, are trying to indicate towards the similarity between waking and dream. Similarity between waking and dream. What does waking and dream have to do with apparent reality and transactional reality? Simple. Dream is apparent reality, waking is transactional reality. That's it. As is dream, so is waking. So the reality that we give to the dream, same reality should be given to waking also. So this waking is nothing but just a big dream. That's it. The only thing is, even though we know, we don't know about it. How can you say so? Where is the proof? Tasya traya avasathastrayah swapnaha. Tasya traya avasathaha. Aitareya Upanishad. In Aitareya Upanishad, this quotation comes where it is said that there are three avasathaha. Avasathaha, upalabdhi sthana, where it can be experienced. So where does Atma stay in all three different states? That is waking, dream, and deep sleep. That's what is being talked in this context here. Saisha vidrutir nama dvaha tadetan nandanam tasya traya avasathas swapnaha. Here it is said. So trayah swapnaha jagrat swapna sushuptyakhyaha. There are three states of avasatha. Avasatha is sthana. Avasatha is sthana. What are the three states of Atma? Where is it in waking, dream, and deep sleep? It has been explained in terms of upasana and in terms of knowing and inquiry. But the main point here being, as is these avasatha, they are all nothing but swapna. Tasya traya avasathaha trayah swapnaha. All those three, whatever that is being experienced in all these three states, are nothing but dream. So they all are apparent realities. That's it. That is the conclusion. Ataeva yugapat srishtihi apyukta. Therefore, the sequence of creation is said to be simultaneous. They don't go into the nature or the sequence of those. Going little bit into the detail of this, tasya traya avasathaha traya swapnaha. Bhashyakara had said, trayah swapnaha jagrat swapna sushuptyakhyaha. Bhagavan Bhashyakara says here, like a king who has entered into his palace. Like a king who has entered into his palace. In the same way, Jiva enters into this palace called this body. And who is this Jiva? Jiva is nothing but Ishvara alone. And when he enters into this palace, he stays in three different locations at three different times. In waking state, he stays in Dakshina Chakshuhu, in the right eye. So it's the upasana. Don't imagine that actually that he stays in that right eye. It is just for upasana where you can actually experience him. So its meaning, its explanation is slightly different. It is not literal, but let's keep that just for information. He is in the right eye. Then swapna kale antarmanaha. During dream, he is in our mind. Swapna kale, he is in our mind. And sushupti kale, during deep sleep, he is in hridayakasha. Hridayakasha, the space which is in our hridaya, in heart. Many similar references also are there in other Upanishads, how where pranas are located, etc., through which nadi, through which innervations or through meridians, if you want to similarly use word. They are not actually nerves, but you can say meridians. Where is it located, etc. But the conclusion is, after having said this, because Upanishad says so, Bhashyakara comes to this line. And here he says, Nanu jagaritam prabodha rupatvat na swapnaha na evam. Never say that because it is very much real. Waking state, prabodha rupatvat. How is it well illumined? It is well lit, well experienced. Therefore, waking state cannot be dream. Dreams are like hazy. We hardly do remember them after waking up. We remember the experience, what we had. Like if tiger is pouncing on me, we will remember that, but we will not explicitly remember in detail how the tiger was, in which jungle had I been, what was the location of the forest, how did I go there. We don't remember all those details at all. It's hazy, it's unclear. But waking experiences are clear like day and night. They are very much clear. Then how can you say this waking state is dream? So here it is said, na evam. Don't say it like that. Swapna eva. It is dream alone. Why? Why are you so adamant? Why do you want to prove that this waking is dream? Simple. Paramartha swapno prabodha bhavat swapnavat asad vastu darshanach. Because in waking, we do not experience our own true self, that is Atma. That's it. Just like in dream, because we did not remember our reality in waking state. For us, dream was real. In dream state, because we did not know the reality of our own in waking state, dream was real. In the same way, the waking is dream because we are unaware of our own true nature, that is Brahman. So, in conclusion, there are only two realities. One is absolute and one is apparent. Transactional is also apparent, but if we emphasize on this, there will be trouble. Why? Because we are not used to it. Transactions are very much real for us. So we have to understand the transactional reality for right now, as long as we don't have that much vairagya, is real for us. But what is the Siddhanta? What is the doctrine? As is dream, so is waking. And if that is the case, as dream is born simultaneously, spontaneously, waking world is also born spontaneously. Ataeva, therefore, Yugapat Srushtihi api yukta. Yugapat, simultaneous, here spontaneous. The creation has been said to be or has been explained as spontaneous. Sa iman lokan asrujata. Aitareya Upanishad says. He created all these worlds. That's it. Taraikshata. He saw, he imagined, and he created all these entire worlds. Nothing about the sequence. He created first raw material. For raw material to be forged, he created something. He created furnace. He created people. And then everything he started creating. No sequence at all. Everything just is born. That's it. Sa idam sarvam asrujat yadidam kincha. Whatever that is being seen or experienced, everything was created by him. Same has been said in Panchadashi. Tathaiva Panchadashyam api uktam. Also, the same thing has been said in Panchadashi. Where in Panchadashi? Trupti Deepa, the 7th chapter of Panchadashi. स्वप्नेन्द्रजाल सदृशम अचिंत्य रचनात्मकम दृष्टनष्टम जगत पश्यम कथन पश्यन कथम तत्रानुरज्यति. स्वप्नेन्द्रजाल सदृशम. स्वप्न इंद्रजाल सदृशम. स्वप्न ड्रीम. Indrajala magic created by magician. The illusion created by magician. Achintya rachanatmakam. Achintya rachana, that which cannot be imagined at all. As much as you try to imagine, it will be less alone. Varied. The creation is so much varied that you cannot even count how much variables, how much variety is there. You cannot even imagine what can be there. Achintya rachanatmakam. Drishtanashtam. Momentary. By the time you see it, it is gone, it's destroyed. Drishtanashtam. The moment you see it, it has already been destroyed. You just don't realize it. Do we not talk about this body, which is continuously changing? The cells are undergoing change, they are undergoing damage, new cells are born, and within few years, all the cells in this body have changed, barring our nerve cells and brain, because they don't regenerate. Interestingly, because they don't regenerate, we remember who we are. I don't know about the reality, but for a joke, for a time being, we can say that. Otherwise, imagine, with new set of cells, we would have been totally new person. Why? Because all the information stored in those cells has been wiped off. Actually, there is transition of information from one cell to another, but that's totally different topic. That's about biology and medicine. Let's come back to Vedanta. So, drishtanashtam, momentary. By the time you see it, it is destroyed. Jagat Pashyan, by seeing this entire world, Katham Tatra Anurajyati. Katham Tatra Anurajyati. Why will he be interested in this world? If this world is like dream, why are you interested in knowing how is this born and what is the sequence of this entire creation? After you have realized this is not true, why? Just enjoy. This is where the, coming back to our this earlier example, Sapnendra Jala Sadrisham. This is where magic dies. If you really want to know how that illusion, how the magic has come about, once you know it, everything is gone. You don't really want to know it. You don't really want to see enjoy the magic, because you already know it is not really there. And is it anything worthwhile? Why? Because with new illusion, there will be again new inquiry. So there is no end to inquiry into the nature of illusion. Nothing is going to yield. Nothing is going to be, you are not going to gain anything. Further, author says, refers to Panchadashi, स्वस्वप्नमापरोक्षेण दृष्ट्वा पश्यन् स्वजागरं चिन्तयेद प्रमत्तस्सन् उभवानुदिनं मुहुः. Swaswapnam, one's own dream. Aparokshena, aparokshena, pratyakshatven, directly. Drushtva, seeing, aparokshena drushtva, seeing directly one's own dream. Swajagaram pashyan, and seeing one's own waking state. Seeing one's own dream directly, and directly seeing or experiencing one's own waking state, waking experiences. Ubhau, both of these. Apramattaha san, without any doubt, without making any mistake, unmistakenly. Chintayet ubhau muhuhu. Anudinam, every day, both of these, dream and waking, should be contemplated upon. He should contemplate on these both every day. In which way? Trying to find the similarities between them. Trying to find how they both are one and the same and not different. Here the topic is how waking is like dream. How can you ascertain that? Look at the similarities between dream and waking. Just as the dream experiences end, waking experiences also end. Waking gets negated in dream gets negated in waking gets negated in aparoksha brahmajnana. That's why waking is like dream. The only thing is we are aware of this dream, but we don't know that it is dream. Further, चिरं तयो सर्वसाम्यम अनुसंधाय जायते सत्यत्व बुद्धिम संत्यज्य नानुरज्यति पूर्ववत. Chiram tayoho, of those both of these two, waking and dream. Chiram, for a long time. Sarvasamyam. Sarvasamyam, the similarity between those two. Anusandhaya. Anusandhaya, repeatedly having contemplated upon the similarity of these two. Jagare. Jagare, in waking. Satyatva buddhim santyajya. Satyatva buddhim, the idea of reality. Santyajya, having given up. Having given up the idea of reality in waking. Nanurajyati purvavat na anurajyati. Like earlier, he does not get involved, is not interested in waking. So, having seen the similarities, have first contemplate upon dream and waking. How is the dream state? What are the objects? What is the nature of object? How are the experiences in dream? And compare them with the experiences in waking. Of course, there are going to be some differences, but yet there is more similarity than difference. They are more similar than they are different. Therefore, having seen the similarity between those both, that is dream and waking, understanding that waking is nothing like dream, once he ascertains that waking is nothing but dream, like earlier, where he had idea of reality in waking, now he gives up that idea. Now he gives up that idea of reality in waking state. And what does he do further? Having given up the idea of reality in waking state, now having given up the idea of reality in waking state, he is not interested, he does not indulge in waking like he indulged earlier. Purvavat, before knowing the mithyatva, relative realityness, unrealness of this waking, he was interested in this creation, the waking state. But now that he knows that this is like dream, he is not interested in it at all. Why? Because now he is interested in what is the real truth, the absolute reality. Further, Nidra kalpita desha kala vishaya jnatradi sarve yatha मिथ्या तद्वदिहापि जागृति जगत् स्वज्ञान कार्यत्वतः यस्मादेवमिदं शरीरकर्ण प्राणाहमाद्यप्यस्यत् तस्मात् तत्त्वमसि प्रशान्तममलं ब्रह्माद्वयं यत्परम्. तस्मात्, therefore, तत्त्वमसि, you are that Brahman. Which Brahman? Prashantam amalam advayam Brahma. Prashantam, the most peaceful, most auspicious. Amalam, without any impurities, without any defects. Advayam, non-dual, Brahman. Why? Why are you, or why am I that? When it is said Tattvamasi, we have to understand I am. Why am I that Brahman? Because Nidra kalpita desha kala vishaya jnatradi sarve yatha mithya. Yatha, just as. Sarve, everything. Nidra kalpita. Nidra kalpita, imagined during sleep. So, dream. Desha kala vishaya jnatradi. Desha, places, kala, time. Vishaya, the objects of experiences. Jnatra, the experience or experiencer of those objects. So the dreamer, dream objects, dream place, dream time, etc. Everything which is in the dream is mithya. As is that mithya, tadvat, same, in the same way. Ihapi, here also, jagrati, in waking state. The jagat is like dream. Why? Swadhyana karyatvatah, on account of ignorance of one's own true self. And if this entire, now again very important point, this entire creation is mithya except for this body. That's how we roll, that's how we experience, that's how we interact. This entire creation is mithya except for this body. We don't consider this body to be part of this entire creation. That is being hammered. Yasmad, because, evam, because such is the case, idam sharira karana pranaham, prana aham adyapi asat. Because this entire creation is mithya, this body, these pranas, these indriyas, all these sense organs, prana, this body, my ahankara, ego, me, idea that I am, I, this I, everything is asat, mithya, false. Don't hold on to this body and say this entire creation is mithya. It's not going to work. If you leave out something, leave something behind, everything is just going to come back. If everything is to go away, everything is to go away. Even if you leave behind something, one small thing, everything will come back. Just to give you example or comparison from biotechnology perspective, there are these cultures. So when they do experiments on germs or any product is being tested, drug, what they do is they grow microorganisms on culture plates. So the microorganisms are grown, the bacteria are grown, and they are treated with drug, medicine, and the effect is seen. Now, if you are to clean that whole thing, you have to clean it completely. Even if one bacterial cell is left behind, it regrows and entire culture can come back. Entire thing can come back. So when you are to clean that, you have to clean thoroughly without leaving anything behind. So even if little bit of ignorance is left behind. It is going to bring back, pull back everything that you have negated. You have to be careful about it. If everything is mithya, everything is mithya. Don't say, let me keep this as real for now. Does not work. स्वप्ने further, स्वप्नेर्थ शून्ये सृजति स्वशक्त्या भोक्त्रादि विश्वं मन एव सर्वं तथैव जाग्रत्यपिनो विशेषस्तस्मात् सर्वमेतन् तस्मा विशेषः तत्सर्वमेतन् मनसो विजृंभणम्. Vijrumbhanam, creation. This entire, everything is manasaha vijrumbhana, creation of our own mind. Swapne artha shunye, swashaktya srijati. In dream, without any material, entire creation, the worlds are created. Why? On his own accord. Mind creates everything. What does he create? Bhoktradi Vishwam, the experiencer, all those creations. And experiencer and all those creations are mana eva. Everything is nothing but mind alone. Tathaiva, in the same way, Jagrati api no vishesha. Jagrati no vishesha. In waking, there is no difference at all. Tat sarvam, that everything is manasaha vijrumbhanam. Tat sarvam, this entire creation is nothing but creation of our own mind. You have repeatedly told me this entire creation is creation of my own mind. This creation is like dream. This creation is mithya. This creation is like swapna, treat it that way. Don't give any reality to these waking experiences. What's the point? What are you exactly trying to say? What is the conclusion? Simple. Because it is like dream, the creation is simultaneous. Don't worry. There is no sequence in the creation. You don't want to know. You should not be interested in knowing the sequence of the creation. But I know you have studied more than me. So you know Upanishads more than me. And so you are going to say, in Upanishads, they have talked about the sequence. It is said that first there was space, then there was air, then there was fire, then there was water, and then there was earth. I know. I also have studied Upanishads. Then you don't know. Everywhere the sequence is different from one Upanishad to another. Okay. What is your point? Tell me, why is it so? Why there is difference in one Upanishad and another Upanishad? If it is sequential, if Upanishads want to say, if Upanishads are trying to explain that there is sequence in the creation, why don't they talk in the same way? Because they are not interested in explaining the creation, because the sequence is not important at all. That topic is now being taken up. Nanu, if yadi jagadutpatti hi akramena tarhi kimiti taittareyadishu kramaha uktaha iti ched atra uchyate. If you ask, if there is no sequence in the entire creation, for creation, if there is no sequence at all, why sequence has been explained in Upanishads such as Taittiriya, etc. Yadi shrutehe jagadutpatti vishaye krama vivaksha syat. If there was vivaksha, there was interest in like krama vivaksha, idea of or other way, if Shruti wanted to explain the krama, sequence of this entire creation, Srushti Kathane Vaishamyam na syat, there should not be any difference in explaining the sequence of the Srushti. Everywhere, the sequence should have been the same. Drishyate tu vaishamyam. But those differences are seen. तथा ही छांदोग्ये ब्रह्मणः सकाशात् अग्निजल पृथिवीनां क्रमेण उत्पत्ति ही श्रूयते. In Chandogya Upanishad, the sequence of this entire creation is seen from fire, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi. 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. Sorry. 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. It talks about Tejobanna Srishti. Teja, up, Anna. Teja, fire. Up, water. Anna, earth. So, Tejobanna. Fire, earth, fire, water, earth. It does not talk about air and space. Tadaikshata bahusyam prajayeya iti tattejo asrujat. Asrujata. He imagined, he aikshata. He visualized, he thought. Bahusyam prajayeya. Let me be many. And then he created fire. It does not talk about space or air. Ityadina. But in Taittiriya Upanishad, आकाश वायव्यग्नि जल पृथिवीनां पंचभूतानां क्रमेण उत्पत्ति श्रूयते. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about Akasha, Vayu, etc. All these Panchamahabhuta, 5 great elements, Tanmatra, in sequence. Its creation has been explained there in sequence. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutah. From that or this Atmana, Atma, the self, Brahman, Akasha Sambhutah, space was created. Kvachitcha Parameshwaraha Sarvamasrujat iti Kramamantara iva utpattihi shruyate. Idam Sarvamasrujat. In Taittiriya only. He created this whole thing. This entire creation was created by him. That's it. No sequence has been talked about at all. Why? Why? The entire creation, all these creations have been explained in many different ways, for which the simple answer is given, because in detail that the answer we will see next time, but it is simple. Because Upanishads or Veda is not interested in explaining the sequence of creation. It talks about creation because they are trying to, or it is trying to emphasize that the creation is mithya. The explanation or the topic of creation, being born, is not to explain how it is born, but to explain that it is mithya, like dream. So in whatever way it is possible to explain that it is not real, that method has been taken up. It is not interested. If it was interested, if Vedas were actually interested in explaining creation, they would have talked everywhere about creation in the same way. But because they have not talked about creation in the same way, it is not trying to explain the procedure or process of creation, but they are trying to explain mithyatva of this creation. How is it? What are the details? That we will see next time. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya samastaloka sukhino bhavantu samastaloka sukhino bhavantu samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.